We introduced Opteron series 6 years ago. We had the anniversary just a few days ago on April 20th. We started doing it completely as a separate CPU, separate design. The major change we did is think about how servers should look inside. It is not drop-in compatible at that point with what we had in the desktop space. So we started to having a technology called Direct Connect, a dedicated architecture for server needs. I think the difference between a server and a desktop CPU is the workloaded ones, and in server much more things are depending on memory. The amount of memory is typically higher, and I/O is more crucial to the output or the performance of a server, and that's why we separated memory traffic from I/O traffic. And from there we were very successful, not only in the 2P space but majorly on the 4P space, where this architectural difference paid out quickly. So as a smaller player, and everybody knows that, we achieved over 50% of market share in 4P space, so 4-way servers using 4 processors, which is quite a success we have.
With the 6th anniversary, AMD also announced a sexa-core Opteron. Could you tell a little bit more about that part?
Well, that's a perfect match, right? 6 years, 6 cores. Well, generally, you will have seen not only in the work and in server space, well, there is a tendency of getting more cores in the CPU. We introduced a dual core quite a few years ago. We were the first with a native quad core. And next up for us, logical step, we'll have even more cores, which is my codename Istanbul, or our hexa-core. I know you like the other term more, which is still in the same power band. I think that's one major thing we do as AMD. We always have a forward upgradability path, so you can take an existing system and take a higher performing CPU in there. In this case, you could take a platform qualified for quad-core and put a Istanbul CPU in, which gives you more power efficiency and more performance. So 2 cores, more performance, of course, and we keep within the same power band. I think that's crucial if you do an upgrade path from whatever technology and the next one. You don't have to rethink the whole thermals inside the CPU. So Istanbul will be in the same power bands as we have Shanghai or 45nm quad-core Opterons today, which is 75 watt regular, 55 watt HE, high efficiency, 105 watt targeted at workstation, and we'll talk about that later. And we recently introduced also EE Opterons, which are even lower than the high efficiency HEs, which have an ACP, so a typical power draw of 40 watts, targeted at those markets who are very sensitive about power, which are classical, hosters, ISPs, and mainly cloud computing.